Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave alongside friends of Tested, Ben and Jesse. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
You guys are here because Maker Faire is happening in the Bay Area, which is a lovely thing for everybody. But you have taken the opportunity to bring some wares that you have been working on to show me.
Yes, of course we will.
And I haven't, like, you and I corresponded about this just the tiniest bit, but since I knew you were going to bring something, I've maintained total ignorance, so I'm really excited to see this in person.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on.
So in these cases, we have a very special robotic puppet animatronic we built back in 2022 for the marketing of the Addams Family show Wednesday.
So this is a promotional robot.
So in the series, Thing, the disembodied hand, is played by a performer named Victor Dorbantu. He wears a green sleeve. They do compositing, take out his body. But Thing had never been built as a walk-around animatronic in history at all.
Yeah.
In the Tim Burton 90s film, there's one animatronic of Thing that walks pulling a wagon, but it doesn't support its own weight.
So it was, gotcha.
So we were approached by Netflix to see if we could figure out a way to make Thing walk for red carpet appearances and interviews, and a way to bring him to life in person so that he could kind of exist in the world and not just on screen.
So here's something I'm imagining about this project is the idea of seeing a robotic thing on the red carpet is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, fills me with so much joy. I would almost be like holding on to that as this North Star, because it sounds like a non-trivial engineering problem.
Yeah. It's super strange. Hands are not designed to walk.
Right, right.
And for the whole 5-month process we were working on this, we were all crawling around our hands like this, as if it's going to help us learn something.
And are you also checking in with Netflix to ask them if they're okay with this and that approach as you're figuring out the mission critical ways it has to get done?
They gave us a pretty open, hands-off, go ahead, figure it out.
That's really enlightened. I love that.
Which was really unusual.
All right, let's reveal. Let's see. Let's see this thing. Also, I appreciate the custom cases. May I?
Yes, absolutely. You pick him up from under his palm. That's the strongest part there. And he's not light.
Dude.
Yeah, the one thing, too, is that, like Jesse was saying, weight and balance.
Yeah.
Hands aren't supposed to do that. Look at where the center of gravity is supposed to be on that. And, like, it's really difficult to make stand.
Oh, man, you have to put, wow. This, just like this, is so thrilling.
And the sculpt Jesse did, and then the casting. Like,
this is your sculpt?
That's my sculpt, yeah.
Dude.
I'm still getting goosebumps. I love this thing so much.
It's really lovely. Did you end up actually adding weight here in order to keep that center of gravity?
So it's really in the materials.
Right.
And we have an unskinned version here too, we'll show you as well. But it has a gradient of mass, basically.
Oh.
So the lower half of the hands are all made of 303 stainless steel, the mechanics inside, and the top is all 3D printed in plastic to hold the weight forward.
Yeah.
And he still is just balanced enough that if when he's walking, I can get him to fall backwards on purpose.
Can we walk him? Can we see him walking?
Yes, yeah.
This is one thing. I helped build him. I still have problems figuring out where his on-off switch is.
I just saw you grabbed him, and this is like a little pressure switch.
Under the skin.
just right under.
It's like a pulse. It's like you take the pulse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. No. Oh my gosh.
And the thing is I'm the kind of guy that does gross movements and stuff. And then Jesse's like, well, I need to add some stuff. So look at the top at the wrist.
Oh, no way. You
right? Like the finesse of the detail.
Oh, wow. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Also, the amount of bruising on it is intense.
It is a lot.
There's it feels very much.
Well, even the depth of it too, you can see into it.
Yeah,
like he's
there's
got
a
that
translucency.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And here's another thing you got to keep into account.
Yeah.
Is that this was one of the biggest things is that we need sticky and slidey.
Oh, so do you have different treatments of the outer rubber?
We tried. We do. We have a extra dense silicone in his fingertips on the front.
Oh, and you've got some
we call them skid pads on the back.
Yeah.
We tried like 5 or 6 different solutions for this. We started with roller bearings in the tip of each finger that were just barely visible.
Yeah.
It was too slippery.
Yeah.
He couldn't move at all.
Oh, wow.
And these are literally just push pin thumbtacks.
Oh, what? Like upholstery tacks?
Upholstery tacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have never suspected. They're totally hidden.
Yeah.
And do you have an issue wearing through the fingertips?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been glued up a few times. He walked all around Manhattan, so he's got.
Wow.
He was pretty shredded.
Well, you've got Manhattan, L.A., Bogota.
Yeah, we
We've
took
been
him to
a
Colombia.
lot of different places.
Wow. And he walked the carpet. How fast can he walk?
Not terribly fast.
All right.
Because the goal was for them to be able to cut together a man on
Yeah.
the street, hidden camera video.
So you would come out to the news crews, you'd put him down, walk them while they got their shot, and move them on to the next guy.
Well, we even surprised people on the street. So
Like it was an actual jump scare.
Oh, that's great.
Well, yeah, try jump scare in New York. They've seen everything. They're like, oh, look.
Nobody cares.
it was
Nobody
surprisingly hard. to get
That's the
people
best
free.
part about New York. You're like, it's a pretty good robotic severed hand.
There were lots of those.
I love the going backwards. That middle finger comes and kicks it back.
Jesse's the only person who seems to be able to drive them, though, because there's been...
Yeah.
I have a history
Oh,
of
it's
being able
not a
to...
walking cycle.
It's
You
not.
are literally...
Well, the front 3 legs are a walk cycle.
Okay.
And he runs on just 4 motors in there if we count the wrist. Mm-hmm. There's a single DC drive motor driving the front 3 legs.
Okay.
Just on a throttle.
And that's a... Gotcha.
And then the pinky and thumb each have their own servos, just to give him some tilt and lean. And a lot of the stuff was extra. The ask that we got from the clients was just walking forward. And I was like, he needs more character than that.
Okay, can we pull out the mechanics? I
Yes,
want to start
yeah.
talking about the
Absolutely.
complications in making something like this, because I'm really fascinated. Oh, so there's your weight distribution. Is this just a like water cut, laser cut out of stainless?
These we sent out to a vendor we use called Protolabs.
Okay, yeah.
They do small batch rapid manufacturing. They use a 4-axis CNC for that stuff.
Nice.
There's
So
some
they did
really weird parts
these
in here.
linkages for you.
Yeah, they did the fingertips, this medial, and this top link
Gotcha.
out of aluminum. The fingertips are 303 stainless, and then the legs are 303 stainless.
And
But
the
those were made-
linkage is a sort of modified X linkage for the finger curling.
Yeah, we can turn this one on too, so you can see it in action.
The fingertips is one... There's a story that I love about this. So Jesse and I had never met ever in person until we actually came to Silicon.
Yes.
And then
Amazing.
we
That
had...
was the weekend that we
He
first
called
got
me up and said,
together.
hey, can we do that? So I said, sure, let's go for it.
Oh, wow.
And Jesse built his fingers and I built my fingers, but my fingers didn't have fingertips, but my mechanism worked better than his. Now get this. I think we used up like 5 years good luck in this, but we literally went to a workbench, we grabbed his fingertips, we re-drilled a hole and bolted it onto mine and it worked. And at that point, I'm like, this is a project that was meant to be. Because when you can...
I really love, this makes sense to me, but the simplicity of the thumb and pinky are surprising to me how simple
That's
is.
it.
That it's just a back and forth.
Just back and forth.
And that gives you so much character out of the movement.
But
I'm really...
Remember, it's not just, you got forward and back, but when it moves back, it tilts down. So you get that side to side, so you can get kind of a gait when it's moving.
Did you start out thinking more complex and then saw that this could work for you?
We did initially. We looked at like motorized joints. People make those crazy hexapod robots and stuff.
Right.
And since we knew we were going to use him in public, we wanted him to be as durable as possible.
Right.
And as
So that
simple
means
as
less
possible.
complexity.
Less complexity, mechanical complexity, but it's all a fixed drivetrain.
And the reason you went for the sort of bell crank instead of a direct drive is...
So it can't kill itself.
Nice.
If teeth blow out,
Yeah.
you can't replace them, but you can always swap a belt out.
You can swap a belt, and then also if the link becomes untimed, it gets jammed. It can't walk forward, and if that happens, the belt just skips rather than hurting the motor.
I'm curious about your radio system. Did you encounter
Yeah.
any interference in different countries and different cities?
I don't think we did.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's fabulous, dude.
So your Theo Jansen videos are what
Yes.
did this. If you look at this,
the
this
Strong
section
Beast is
here
totally
is the lower
in
half
here.
of Theo Jansen, but if you get rid of that large square linkage, you realize that these are just rotating. So then, but what's really fascinating about this is that you can time these so that if you rotate this 1 degree forward, right? It'll move forward like this, but if you go past that, it'll start walking backwards.
back.
It'll reverse it. So timing those two wheels is the critical bit. And then after that, once you get it.
So we basically are creating a long ellipse at the tip of the finger.
Right,
But the
right.
bottom of the ellipse is below the ground plane.
This is not dissimilar from the Sisyphus pushing the rock Lego
Yes. Yeah,
construction
exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
Getting that extra biological movement out of that long.
Yeah.
And that's just to move the fingers, but like we were saying, the friction matters. This guy without the skin cannot walk.
Can't move forward.
No, he just kind of sits and
He
So,
spins.
so within
has
your
trouble.
testing, was there a whole period of time where you're like, we're failures until you got some
No.
stiction on the fingers? And like,
a little bit, yeah. It was pretty clear early on that we needed that.
We were talking about like lead fingers.
Yeah.
At one point.
yeah.
And we put spikes in these have holes drilled out of them. We put
Yeah.
track and field spikes in the fingers.
Sure.
So they could
Sure.
grab different surfaces. And in the end, just the silicone, something close to skin
Yeah.
was the right choice.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of thing where when you have these interdependent systems, this outer casting, which has to get designed, built, sculpted,
Yeah.
cast, etc., while you're still doing this, and that they're interdependent makes it a
Yeah.
much more complicated build than I think most people realize.
And we live like a 2.5, 3 hour flight apart from each other. So
Yes.
everything
Do it
minus
all
one
remotely.
weekend. One weekend we met, we put everything together, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, we're in New York running it, and we're just like,
That is so pretty, guys.
and transport. This is one thing for anybody building props.
Yeah.
No chargeable batteries. These are 1, 2, 3 cells that you can pretty much get anywhere.
Yeah.
So we made it so it didn't matter. If they take away our batteries, that's fine. We just go to the hardware store and buy some new batteries.
I love the amount of slop you built in here.
There's a lot of compliance.
Yeah.
And even in the front, you can feel those moving.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that saves you a lot of binding headaches.
But the
That's
skin,
just your institutional knowledge, yes?
Yeah, just a lot of trial and error. Yeah.
and the skin makes up for it. It's amazing how something,
does,
two
yeah.
floppy things together make a pretty stable thing.
That's really, and plus it feels, because there's that extra movement, that it's not just, I'm working on wings, and one of the things
Yeah.
with everyone's wings is they move in a single plane, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to
needs to be a
design
lot.
this, a track that
twisting.
has a bend,
Yeah.
so you get this,
Yeah.
that secondary thing.
Yeah.
This is, the secondary thing you get out of that compliance
Yeah.
is lovely.
Absolutely. And all of whenever I do animatronic projects, I'm hoping for those kinds of unexpected operational additions that we really can't plan until we're testing it.
Okay, so how come that is a right angle instead of just a straight little linkage?
Just to save space. There's not a lot of space for extra stuff, but it needs more travel. So
Oh, okay.
it gets a slight, as if this was a curve.
Right.
I think we originally had a machined piece in here, but clearly we replaced that with something we cut on the fly.
Yeah, no, I see it.
And the thing is that you get to the point where it ain't broke, that's working. We have a bunch
Yeah.
of them. Just
that problem
get
solved.
15 extra.
Stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why there's two, because on set, one of these was always completely torn down on the
God.
bench.
Right.
Not on the bench, on the cart on the side of the road in New York.
Yeah, we had
Ben was working on it while I operated the other one.
Well, Ben
we
and
would switch
Miles,
out.
one of Jesse's guys, we would be sitting there sweating, and you could see the PAs like, "Are you guys okay?" And it's like, "Don't talk to us. We got to get this ready."
Yeah.
Now I can feel also, did you muck with the thickness of parts of the skin to
Yeah.
get the kind of movements you wanted?
So it's much denser at the fingertips specifically.
And also in the other side, the metatarsal pads on the front, those are also thicker.
They are thicker. And the whole thing is embedded with a power mesh 4-way stretch fabric. Keep it from tearing.
So did you have a full core inside for casting?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I had a spectacular mold maker at my shop.
These two were separatable, and maybe
Yep.
these three in the center.
Collapsible hand. Yeah.
Oh my
I have
God.
that. I have that with me. I have the core and a spare skin.
Oh, wow.
But you can see,
Yeah, multi-piece core, no less.
so this was the skin from the second
Right.
hand. We can't stretch this over the mech.
Gotcha. So then he is literally sewn together.
It's sewn together. And
That's amazing.
We were super lucky that they decided to change the design for Thing to have these like Frankenstein stitches.
It gave you
It gave
tons
us
of
natural
places to hide the
seams.
crimes.
Yeah. And we changed his batteries by unstitching the top of the wrist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so,
So we
good.
sew them up every half hour.
No way.
Yeah.
You just. Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yep. I love this.
And the thumb too is magnetic
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
You can feel it.
coring. You really do have a wonderful mold maker. That's disgusting in the best way.
It's amazing.
This is one thing too, is that you take it out even to like the people that wanted it. You take it out of the case and they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, we got it.
That's the response you want.
That exact first kind of, the wrist movement is so inspired.
I do a lot of puppeteering. Characters with no eyes are hard to index, like where their attention is.
Right.
And we knew he was going to be responding to people out in the world and dogs and babies and whoever else down at low levels. And I wanted him to have some like intentionality. Because you can imagine this is not his head. It's a hand.
No, but it is
head.
attention. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've just substantively learned so much more about puppeteering than I thought was knowable. Like, that's brilliant.
And it's the slightest tiny
It's so
thing.
incredible. Jeez, and it's
And
just
it makes
this.
all the
It's
difference,
just this
though, right?
one micro servo
One
on
little
there.
micro servo. Same as the pinky and thumb. Same size.
It's a lovely time to be alive, right? With these Metal Gear
yeah, yeah.
servos,
So tiny.
high torsion.
Yes.
Oh.
I have something for you, actually. Ben mentioned to me that you were like super interested in these fingers.
Yes.
So Jesse's going to give you the finger.
No. Really?
So this is like the best fidget toy.
Oh my God, we literally hours.
Back
I've
when
worn
Ben
one
was
out.
trying to time these, he just sits and goes like this. But this one's for you.
Oh my
And
God.
it's so satisfying.
Thank you.
And when I want you to detime it, right? And then there is
And
no
then
trick.
but
like it's
very hard.
If you detime it, know that it's going to be about 2 hours till you get back to where you started. It's one of those puzzles.
Oh, thank you. This
of
is
course.
so beautiful. And this is really, really magnificent, guys. Big commerce jobs like this don't often get so much freedom from the client.
No.
Very rarely.
Truly, truly inspiring. I just love it.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
What a thing. What a
What a
thing.
thing.
I didn't even mean to make that pun.